Here she is. Here she is.
Some new countdowns going on.
The one and only. I know. We're like downtown.
We're very professional.
Good evening, everybody. Here she is. Don't look at me. I'm not even important. Here she is. Mrs. L joins us, and we are freezing for reasons
Why are we so cold? It's not that cold outside. It's in the 40s. I don't know why we're so freezing.
Maybe because we're elderly.
Speak for yourself,
yes,
young man.
I'm older. Anyway, we're here to talk about this, to join forces with you, to thank you, just to bring you up to speed. And this is your night because you hear from me all the time. And in no particular order, what's on your top of mind awareness? What do you want to say to our friends and family?
Well, I don't really know, to be honest with you, where to start. As you know, I've been out on the road all day across New York City on various business meetings and things like that. And there is a lot to say a day after yesterday's elections. I am completely not shocked, but somewhat astounded. First of all 51 council seats in New York City, every seat up for re-election, up for, turning over. Realistically, in a Democratic run city like New York, about 8 of them could have been flipped. How many of those 8 were flipped?
One.
The one in the Bronx?
Yeah.
She wasn't part of the 8 that all the experts behind the scenes said these are the 8 that have the strongest possibility that we can really flip.
What was the percentage of voters out of 5 million?
Well, we do know when we did our early voting, and then I did a little research, we had about 2% that did early voting. As of right now, they're saying about 11% of New Yorkers turned out. So that's why I don't know where to start, because if you can't see the crime, if you can't see the craziness, if you can't see the sex trafficking, if you can't see they're reporting 64% increase in shoplifting, okay, I don't know what everybody's doing. I really don't know what everybody's doing. I mean, do you have any ideas? Whatever. If the one subject was crime only, there's many different subjects we could focus on, but I can't believe I'm even saying this because I'm usually about children and families, which of course I am. But if you just focused on crime, everybody should be able to relate to crime. So I'll tell you why this scares me, because remember back at the midterms where it was going to be the red wave and all of that, and that was flat, that bubble burst. And this reminds me of that. And it reminds me of 1 year from now for the presidential election, nothing will change. And I don't like saying that, but that's what's going to happen. That's what I feel.
Well, my friends, I want everybody to stand by. By the way, are we coming through loud and clear? Oh, there's Ramona. There's Ramona. Excited you were both here. Ramona from Verona. Bless her heart. R. Heath.
Ramona lives in Verona, New Jersey?
No, I just said
it
rhymed.
Okay.
Anyway, stand by for a second. We're going to get to Ramona, but I want to say a couple of things here first. Make sure we are coming in loud and clear. Mrs. L, we're going to be here for the duration. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. But first, before we begin and before we start, we must remind you to please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And right now it's time for us to talk to, first of all, our sainted, our glorious, our friendly, our important sponsor. Dark clouds are gathering as markets shudder. Stocks are sinking, currency stumbling, fear and uncertainty reign. The Middle East, Ukraine, Taiwan, the debt, it's endless. Yet one asset stands firm, gold. In crisis after crisis, gold is there in the background. Its enduring value guards against loss, like a missile shield against incoming. While paper wealth burns, gold persists. Shield your savings against looming threats, war, recession, contagion, and avoid the frenzied panic of the unprepared. Take control in the chaos. Fortune favors decisive action. Get hold of gold now before it's out of reach. And right now, Noble Gold Investments offers a free 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin with every new IRA. Claim your free coin today to secure your financial future. As this new storm gathers, panic looms. And some of the places you were thinking of for your money, well, they don't look so clever anymore. Secure your future against disaster now. Open a Noble Gold Investments IRA and claim your free bullion coin today. Go to LionelNationGold.com. That's LionelNationGold.com. LionelNationGold.com, the only gold company I trust. And remember, there's always a risk of investment and there's no guarantee of any kind. There are very few guarantees in life, but the one guarantee that you have for us tonight, that we have for you, is that we're going to be here and we're going to be listening to you and we love you. And I'm so glad that Mrs. L joins us. And going back to the lovely and talented and the extremely nice Ramona, I call her Ramona. Excited you are both here. Well, I'm here, but she's here.
Well, thank you for having me. I just noticed we're like both in these black outfits. It's kind of like ominous. Look at us. But it's an ominous day, in my opinion. So the black is, suits us well.
And by the way, a couple of things. Yes, it is true that most of what you speak about is involving children, but I would venture to say your political analyses and handicapping is better than anybody would ever not give you credit for, but it's that good. Seriously, exceedingly great. And I'm not saying that just because it's true, but because it's true. There's no doubt about that. But you asked a question. You said, do you think that maybe with crime, voting, maybe voters say, well, yeah, there is crime, but Democrats aren't going to change it, or Democrats are not responsible for crime, or Republicans are going to change it. Maybe they agree with you about crime, but they don't think that voting has anything to do with any of this. I just think that most people just don't care. Most people just don't. They figure, well, it's going to happen, and the police will take care of it. And voting really is not a direct connection to that.
Drastic times call for drastic measures. We are speaking from example, living in New York City, but crime is happening across the entire country. People have seen over the last couple of years in their communities what is going on. So if you can't relate, everybody's seeing crime. I don't care if you're in the middle, I don't know, Ohio, West Virginia, because people are reporting back to me what they are seeing. And certainly the work I do with sex trafficking, labor trafficking, children in particular, being forced into all of this has escalated to numbers we can't even keep up with. Border work, right? I work with the border. I collaborate. Can't keep up with that. Everybody can relate to that. Here's where I disagree. It is a new country. We've learned this in the last couple of years. People have to understand and take action. So I'm very disappointed. We know how New York is. 2% early voting. 11% turned out at the polls. No, with everything we see on the streets, everything locked up. You can't get a toothpaste out of a cabinet. You can't get a shampoo, ringing bells. I can't do it anymore. I got to go other places where things are not locked up. You ring the bells, they don't even come to answer the bells.
And
so I'm disagreeing because the crime, the dirtiness, okay, a smoke shop, and I'm not exaggerating. They are on every corner. And as you know, I'm always about audiences and focus groups and all that stuff. There's never anybody in these smoke shops. I don't understand how they're paying the rent. I don't understand what they're doing at all, how they're making money, why they're allowed to operate when we know a lot of them are operating illegally. I'm just not understanding it.
Answer this question for me. You and I don't disagree. How is it that what if people do not understand, do not make a connection between voting and crime? What if they don't? What if they don't make that connection? Is what I'm trying to say.
How can they not?
That's what I'm.
Because here's what we learned. Look, let's go back. We had the George Soros, for shorthand, very brilliantly, Open Societies Foundation, putting into across our country about 100 DAs, district attorneys. Mm-hmm. It is the most effective thing at the grassroots community level to change things. This is what people don't understand. People are always like, Washington, president, this is where it happens, Congress. I am telling you, it is at the community level, grassroots, DAs, council members. That is what we've been preaching. That's where you can change things. That can snowball from community to community. And that's where you get the work done.
I'm not saying that's what I'm saying.
Well, how do they not listen to this?
How is it that in Philadelphia, that is just whatever now I don't know anything about this woman. I'm sure she's fine. First woman, she's a black woman. I think our 100th mayor, I think, in the history of Philadelphia. How is it that they voted in Fetterman. How is it that they voted in that, was it Krasner or whatever, that the DA, one of the
Larry
Soros
Krasner,
type?
yeah.
They know this. How is it that people allow this to happen and don't make the
I guess they're
connection?
just not going out and voting. And I guess on top of everything, with all the controversy, frankly, in the last few years, people doubting the voting. We saw a lot of things happening. We don't know really what happened in the last presidential election. Everybody's got a different opinion. People think, why bother voting? I get a lot of that. Why bother voting? Because we can't change anything. That is what we have to keep at it no matter what. And that's where people disconnect. They're like, why bother? I'm not going to go out. Yet everybody complains. So that's the part I don't understand.
How do you think Trump's doing? Be honest. I mean, just say what you want. Say it.
Truthfully, every single day he should be sitting down. He should be doing a 5 to 10 minute video. He should be putting it in everybody's faces. I'm going to be doing this. We are going to be doing this. This. And he doesn't do it. Again, we heard the red wave in the mid-elections. We heard about this period for city council. It was going to be a lot of seats turning. I don't think he's doing enough. I understand.
He's too focused on his court cases.
It's funny. I had a meeting today and I was like, you stay in the now and go forward. Like, don't mention things happened. You have to keep going forward and brainwash the public and help them understand it's about now and going forward. I frankly don't think he's doing enough. There's so much focus on, I understand what's going on right now is many believe very wrong, whatever. I don't believe he's any of these Republicans, in my opinion. I think tonight there's a debate. I mean, I've been out all day, haven't done my research. I don't think he's doing enough. I think he's depending on, yes, these polls tell us right now he's very far ahead. There's still a year
among the Republicans.
I don't trust polls, right? It depends where the poll comes from, who's taking the poll. And frankly, we can't really trust the media because we can't trust them.
What's his message?
Well, you tell me what his message is.
I don't know.
Make America great again. Take back America.
What does that mean?
I hear close the borders. I don't really know.
Well,
I don't really have one mission statement. Do you? I don't.
He ran on the following. Remember, what were the class? By the way, someone said all politics is local. Who said that? Trick question. Who said all politics is local? Did you know that one? Did you hear me say
yes,
that?
I know that, but I'm not answering because
you know the answer.
Because I know the answer.
Who? But MAGA's base is worldwide. What? MAGA's base sucked across the country last night. What are you talking about?
Where were they? Because let me just point something out to the audience.
Okay, hang on a second.
Okay.
It's not Tip O'Neill. It was Tip O'Neill's father. Tip O'Neill lost his first race. He went to his father, he was very dejected, and his father said, son, you got to remember, all politics is local. His father said that, not Tip O'Neill. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I don't understand, and I do say this to you a lot, as I travel across our great country, why people whisper to me constantly. More people, I'm finding, they're like us. They think like us. It's common sense. It's, pro-American. It's about family and children. Why in New York, there are a lot of people like us. They whisper. They're afraid to come out. They're afraid to say it. They're afraid, what's going to happen to them. I get it. I get it because of what has been done to people and continues to be done. But if we don't come out in numbers, this just is not going to work. And
here's one for you. Someone writes, I won't never vote again because I believe Joe Biden never won. So you're not going to vote and you're going to give up your vote.
But that's what they want.
So you're going to give up your vote because you believe Joe Biden never won. Let's think about that one. I respectfully submit people want an excuse not to vote so they don't have to get off of their ass and vote. So if I come up with something like a George Carlin said, the people who are responsible for the bad electors or the bad politicians are the people who keep voting them in. You only encourage them when you vote. So that's why I don't vote. Nonsense. What does that mean? It sounds good, but I don't think he won, so I'm not going to vote. No, you keep voting. Ladies and gentlemen, look at her. You know we love her from parts unknown, weight unknown. The woman who put Russian dashboard cam truck accidents or airline, I forget. She made them famous. Things aren't bad enough yet to vote for change. Well, thing is, look at Lori Partridge, bless her heart.
Things
What was
aren't
it,
bad
Lori?
enough.
I'm going to write this as a t-shirt. But see, what? Things aren't bad enough yet to vote for change. I don't know what that means.
Well, where does Lori live? Maybe it's
Lori
other
lives
thing,
in our minds.
No, but here's the thing: unless people are visual, right?
Plane crashes. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Okay, but people are visual. That's just it. Unless they actually see something in front of them, like we see here in New York. Okay, when they see something, then they tend to react or take action.
I was just thinking about something. Imagine one day we have, instead of "I have a dream today," that one day my children will be judged by the content of their, now the color of their skin. And ladies and gentlemen, we have Lori Partridge who says, things aren't bad enough yet to vote for change. What?
Well, did Lori follow up with that? Maybe there's a follow up to that.
I don't
Lori,
care.
give us a follow up.
It's almost like an Irwin Corey. Don't ever think that things can change, because if it's not time yet, then how would you know there will be a change in the first place unless it occurred?
I'm not ready to give up on our country. I refuse. That is exactly what these, whatever they are, want us to do. I refuse to give in or give up.
MAGA sucked last night. I got news for you. This and why are Republicans worrying about abortion? Now, let me say something just for a second. Let me just say something, and I'm only going to say this right now. Do you want to win an election, or do you want to make a statement? Remember the time we were on that Air America cruise years ago? Rachel Maddow was on this panel with us, and it was Mark Green and Gary Hart, the senator, remember Monkey Business?
Was the Monkey Business with Donna Rice or something. Remember that whole thing?
And she said on this Air America cruise that gay marriage should be the whatever. And Mark Green and Gary Hart looked at her and says, are you out of your mind? What? Remember this? Hillary was against it. Obama was against it. At the time, it didn't work. Now, do you want to win, or do you want to say some stuff? Do you want to win, or do you want to lay off this abortion business? If you say that, all you've got to do is say, let the states decide. But you want to have, like these Republicans, I want to have a mandatory federal law against. Oh, stop it. No, you're going to lose. Now, remember, you could say, but it's a human life. Okay, I agree. I agree. But if you want to win, you can't bring this up. You can't bring this up. The death penalty, don't bring it up. There's certain things you just don't talk about. And I guarantee you, I will only tell you this much, and I'm saying this, you're not saying this, I'm saying this. The debate and the discussion as to Israel, Hamas, Hezbollah, Palestine is incoherent. Incoherent. So good luck with that one. Pick whatever you want. It's now been reduced to absolute lunacy. This is me now. I used to love to hear Judge Napolitano, Mearsheimer I love, and I still love the judge, and Scott Ritter, and who is it? Oh God, somebody else about Israel. No more. I can't take it anymore. I know it's the same four arguments over and over again. Here she's back. Wait a minute, Ramona's back, honey. Ramona says, a few of us are speaking out and gathering steam here in Chicago. Local is the answer. I'm not ready to give up either. Absolutely.
Good for you, Ramona, because Chicago is another.
It's a toddling town.
No, but a gorgeous city that has been left to just destruction. And to see those mothers and grandmothers fighting for their children. I mean, you don't see that in the mainstream media news. You don't see that on Fox News. Maybe once in a while they allude to something. There are so many women fighting for their families there, and it's disgusting. It is disgusting. You don't see the crime. When do you see really Pennsylvania, like Philadelphia and Chicago on the news? You don't really see that.
Ramona, let me ask you a question. What happened to Juicy Smellit? Whatever happened with that? And Kim Fox? Lori Lightfoot's gone. But whatever happened to Juicy Smell It? What happened with that? He made that up. Remember that story about the bleach and the noose and the MAGA country? And
But that's where the other side, whatever you want to call,
But-
should be constantly going
But what
hard on
happened?
that. Like,
But-
where is that? And constantly have it in the headlines.
right. But I'm asking somebody who is a Chicagoan,
They don't
what
talk about it.
happened? I don't remember. We just stopped talking about it. It was the greatest story. It was the stupidest story I've ever heard in my life. It was. I remember they were going to charge him, and then there was a civil. They were going to go after the.
But can I just say something?
Yeah.
Here's what I don't understand either. If we could take all of these efforts we hear about, that story and this story, and put it into what is happening to our children in America, I don't understand why all these efforts aren't put into that. We will not allow sex trafficking. We will not allow labor trafficking. We will not allow this in the schools. That's where I don't understand why the efforts and energy is not put into that. Okay.
Ramona says, you're absolutely right, Lynn. Kim Fox isn't running, which is awesome. Oh, by the way, before I forget, may I just say something? Guess what we got today from our dear friend Edie Crowley? I'm so proud of this. Can you see this? Look at this. This is her work.
An
This
original
is,
piece of art.
This is called The 11th Hour. And I do not know if I'm holding.
Well, there's a signature.
Well, her signature is normally in the left. Normally it's in the left. So it could be this way.
Maybe it's
I like it like this because I see. It's like a Rorschach test. I see a face here.
that's like that dress almost. Remember the dress? People didn't know the color.
Yes,
Like you could
yes.
Because I can also see a face in that.
But I thank you for this. We have
I know
this.
that's beautiful. Thank you. I'll be getting a frame for that, and we will
yes.
be adding that to our office collection.
And we
Thank
also
you.
have another one too. I've got her other somewhere. The other one.
I think
got
it's
her
out
other
in the
thing.
other room. We have
Yes.
another one. I got to get some frames. I got to catch up. I'm behind.
Yes. So thank you.
No, I
Anybody
love it.
who spends time to do something creative is just so. It's so wonderful.
It is wonderful.
Let's talk about some other stuff too. Now, can we talk about something a little bit lighter? Just how about some
don't
good
know.
stuff? What the hell is that, man? I don't
Well, I know I
know.
was out working all day. I don't know if I'm in the lighter mood, but go ahead, go for it.
Tell us about your wonderful waitress today. Just this, whenever you have something that is just,
Oh,
isn't that nice? Just to have a nice wait, something, just anything good. Like we have these little
yeah, she was wonderful.
Hispanic, very nice, very assiduous.
Well,
very,
I called her older, and then I realized, oh, she was probably my age. So she's around my age, and I couldn't believe how wonderful she was, and kept coming back to fill my coffee cup up, and kept checking on, is everything okay? A lovely woman. And then when I was getting ready to leave, she said, you know what, dear, let me get a paper cup. Let me fill it with coffee. You take it out on the street. You're such a nice woman. And I thought to myself, see, now that kind of thing carries me. There are still good people smiling, doing a good job, working hard, and just a lovely,
Right.
it really made my whole day.
We found a little, there's a woman, a seamstress,
Oh, I love
and
her too.
the second floor to get things like zippers or whatever done. You had some alterations done.
Yes.
Wonderful woman, and it's like her name is like Anne. Like that's not your name, but anyway, she's Hispanic also, or Latino. I don't know the phrase. So nice, so terrific. We go to our little place. I get a lottery ticket. It's kind of a smoke shop. Our friends from Yemen. I dig him. I like our Ghana gas station fellow who's a
You do
Muslim.
like him.
Oh, I love
But getting
him.
back to the smoke shop, he used to be a newspaper kind of store
Yeah.
until newspapers went out.
But they
And
bust. They
They work very hard.
very, very hard. And the number of people, let me tell you something. If you come to New York, there's a very, very sincere or a real chance that you
Mhm.
could be killed by one of these e-bikes, but they're all delivering something.
Mhm.
This is the city for delivery of food. I sometimes we'll be in front of an apartment door. There'll be like one, like a milkshake, one little thing.
I wouldn't have the nerve though. One cup
No.
of coffee delivered, sitting in front of a door. No.
Barry Taylor says,
selfish.
thank you, Mr. and Mrs. L, for all your hard work.
Well, thank
well,
you for
she-
listening to us, and thank you.
Tell us the latest one. This really got you going today about Westfield, New Jersey. Listen to this one.
Well, it's been going on, and I shamelessly plug my newsletter, which I'll be sending out sometime tomorrow. And I've been talking about it to you for a long time now, this AI, this artificial intelligence. Okay. And Westfield, New Jersey, the high school there, very nice town. Now I'm qualified to talk about Westfield because I grew up in New Jersey. My family dentist was in Westfield, so I feel perfectly qualified to talk about Westfield, New Jersey, frankly. And a couple of boys in Westfield High School just took their fellow students, girls, images off of Snapchat, off of Facebook, whatever the platforms. The story's a tad murky, everybody. And they went online and just picked up an AI program, which you can do, Open AI. They picked up some program and they attached these girls' faces, hair, all that, and created pornographic images of them. And there are no laws, there's no legislation, there's no way. This is what I've been talking to you about to prevent this from happening. Now, here is the part that extremely upsets me. First of all, the girls went to school back in October and were wondering why boys are pointing at them, laughing at them, looking at their phones. They found out, according to the school principal, she said, 4 days later, we found out about these images. But here's the part, and this is the part that upsets me. The principal said, but it's okay because it was only on Snapchat, these images, and Snapchat deletes the images. I am here to tell you, anything you put online is there forever, somewhere hidden. I don't care if you delete it. I don't care if you break your computer with a hammer. It is there somewhere to be found. So we know most likely these images were up there. We don't know how long. We know for sure that 4-day period could be much longer. We do know they're captured probably by hundreds, if not thousands of other strangers. I am sure, I would bet my life on it, upload it to porn sites where people are making money. But the thing is, these girls now, there's one girl in particular making the rounds with her mom going on Fox and CNN, 14 years old. She has to go to school every day with the other girls and see these boys. One got a slight detention or something like that. And again, they're kind of shielding the story instead of, they should explode the story to warn people, okay? And they should take a hard line so boys don't think, okay, this is okay to do, or girls okay to do. But the fact the school said, well, it's okay, it was just Snapchat, they got deleted, the image, no, that's not right. And they claim criminal probe. And now the police say, well, the pictures are deleted, so we don't have anything to go on. We can't really do this probe. You can find images.
Well, that's like saying a libel.
So they don't know. They don't know. But the thing is, these girls now, for the rest of their lives, they're 14, 15 years old. They have to wonder, are they on porn sites? What about they're applying for a job? We know most people, I just heard the other day, they're not even looking at resumes now. They're looking at your online life, or they're looking at your technical skills. They're not looking like you had this job, like, you know, in our day where you went to school.
We go to CV.
Yeah, well, none of that anymore. Are they going to see these images of these young women when they look? What about if they get married in the future? What about when they have children in the future? Children are see their mother naked or some pornographic son. So there's a lot of questions. There's no control. And I don't know what to say about all of this, except it's dangerous.
Hold on for 1 second. Let me remind you, of course, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. Make sure you also hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. We're going to be talking about this very, 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 very soon. But first, you know, whenever I was talking today, I was doing a live hit, and we were talking about one of the hosts. We're saying we're still trying to figure out why people ran for toilet paper during COVID. Still don't know why. Why? That's like saying styrofoam cups. Why toilet paper? There was nothing gastrointestinal.
We never had a lack once of toilet paper.
But
I don't know
why. So, but it goes to show you that during moments of stress, people act crazily. And there's 3 things you need to remember: food, water, and energy. And when it comes to food, well, listen to this. All right, fellow patriot, let's talk about My Patriot Supply, the country's largest preparedness company. And it is more than equipped to stock your shelves in times of emergency. You can ditch the canned vegetables in the box, pasta and the banana chips and the jerky. Their best-selling 3-month food kit provides delicious breakfasts, lunches, and dinners that last up to 24 5 years. Now, these meals offer over 2,000 calories every day with a balance of protein and carbs to keep you fed and ready to go in the event of an emergency. Just add water and heat, then eat. Start or strengthen your food supply with this 3-month food kit from My Patriot Supply. So go to preparewithlionel.com to get ready. Preparewithlionel.com. I'm going to say it again. Preparewithlionel.com. Go now. Heat, then eat. Now, let's talk about this picture, okay? This is, let me turn this up a little bit. This pictures, these pictures.
Which pictures?
Well, the pictures of the AI, okay? Now, here's the question.
Well, give me your legal take.
Well, I'm giving my legal take.
I
Number one, if I represented these boys, wait a minute, Ramona's back. Hold it, stop. Ramona's back. Ramona says, oops, that's not it. Kayfabe. Let's go to, thank you for all you do, Lynn. You are a warrior. Oh.
Thank you.
Like you can't believe.
Thank you. And we all need to become warriors. But
Okay.
I'll leave that for
So I represent these young men, let's say, and they call me and I say, okay, what's the problem? Your client posed or sent pictures, nude pictures, aside from whether they're uploaded or not, those pictures are not nude pictures of this person. Their face is on there. That may be incorrect. It may give the impression it's like me drawing something, but there is no nude pictures of them. There is none. The problem is I submit respectfully that we need to have a law similar to libel to cover deep fakes and the like, where somebody says libel is basically a false statement that causes defamation, that causes injury, that causes embarrassment or whatever. Well, that's what this is. This is something that causes, this is a false statement. But it's not technically nude or pornographic. That's small consolation to some teenage girl who feels completely unnerved. But also, the thing that we never talk about is I would be very, 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 if that were our son, I would sit there and say, tell me I don't have a psychopath for a son. What the is wrong with you? What were you thinking? No, tell me. You're not going to get out of this room. You're not going to be able to see daylight. And you tell me a good reason of why you thought that was appropriate. Tell me I don't have a psychopath for a son. Tell me I don't have some son who thinks this would be a great idea. What if they did this to you or your sister or your mother or whatever? What would you do? What the is wrong with you? And you're not leaving here until you tell me what. And I'm sure there's a good reason. My father used to do this all the time. I'm sure there's a good reason. What is the matter with you? What is the matter with you? And what we're going to do is we're going to apologize. Now, you got to be careful with this. If you apologize, are you admitting liability? I don't know.
I'm disagreeing with all of this.
What? Asking a kid?
This is uncharted territories. We have to remember.
No, what would you do with our kid?
14, 15, and 16-year-olds have grown up in this digital.
No, aside
bubble.
from that, what
their
would
mindset is it's okay. That's where we have to
I'm going to change that mindset.
But that's what I'm talking about.
That's the first thing.
Have to change the mindset.
So you don't disagree with me. I would sit there and I would make
the
this
kid's going to laugh maybe, or the kid's going to say, what do you mean? Everybody's doing
it.
Wait
a minute.
The parents have to come together, the group of parents, the group of kids, and they collectively together. A lot of the problem is these parents will laugh it off and think, what?
Well, let me tell you what I would do regarding.
And the school has to do that as well.
Other parents may laugh. If our son laughed, I would say, let me explain something to you. The reason why I'm worried about whether you're a psychopath is I don't want you to be like me because I'm one. You see, I don't have any ability to understand consequence. And I don't really I don't squirm when I see people suffer. Like the suffering I'm going to put you through for the next, we'll start with 6 months for you laughing at this. You see, because I control your life. I control what you do. I control your money. I control everything. And I'm going to make you pay for this. And you will go for the rest of your life. And when I'm dead and gone, you will never forget what I did to you when you laughed at me, when you didn't think this was funny. And the rest of the parents, they can go, I don't care what they do. But I would do this. See, I believe that what you do is, I don't believe in spanking kids, but I believe in torturing them psychologically. I want them for the rest of their life to say, My father was crazy. He never laid a hand on me. But when he got that look and he said, oh no, he used to stay up late thinking of ways to ruin my life, cutting off things and benefits. And now, another thing to do is I would also love to do this. This is me now. I would say, we're going to stand right in front of this school and say, hello. Let me tell you what happened at the Westfield High School. And I want everybody to know this. You see, what happens is our daughter, blah, 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 and I tell the story. And this guy, and I hold up the picture of, and this is this principal. This is not the best rendition, but he looks something like this, or this is what he's going to look like when I run over him. But this principal,
the woman principal,
when we came to her, she said, oh, it's no big deal. So you know what I did? Great. I got a hold of these people I know in China, and we have a nude picture of her. This is it, which looks identical to the first picture I showed. Here she is squatting over a cactus and picking up small change the hard way. So we're going to also put this one up because after all, it's no big deal, right? We're going to do that to her. I've got 1,000 of these things. And that's why in front of the Westfield High School, remember this. So if you have kids here, this is the way they treat you. Oh, I would drive them crazy. And and then when I called the police at the Westfield Police Department, they said, oh, don't worry. Wait a minute, look at this.
Look, we also have.
Honey, you know who it is? It's Edie Crowley. Look at this. Edie, which way? Am I holding this correctly? Love to you both.
I think Edie, it goes the other way. I think it goes horizontal.
I like it like this.
I think
but anyway,
you could do it any way you like it. I'll let you be in charge. But let me not be the okay. You act like that, what you just explained.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you don't live in California because right now they passed a law fairly recently. If you act like that, they can take your child away from you. So we've got to deal with that issue as well.
If I go in front of a school,
parental autonomy is
if I go in front of a school and I say that this school rejected or turned us down when we came to seek justice,
right.
My daughter, who was afraid to go to school, my daughter is humiliated. They're going to, and by the way, this is my second YouTube. And now they tell me they're going to take my daughter away because I dare to come up and defend her rights. Does that sound right for you? If you disagree with me, go to the Westfield High School or wherever the school is. I mean, this is.
But we need people to come out in numbers, okay? And I'm only seeing this one mother and her daughter making the rounds or being quoted online, whereas we would need, because a lot of people shove it, under the carpet, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
They figure it's going to go away. We don't talk about it. No. We have to talk openly and honestly about what is going on. Now, I just want to go back. We do have several bipartisan bills about deep fakes. We can't get them scheduled. We do have, again, bipartisan, okay? We can't get them on the schedule with Congress to go up the chain for votes. Right now, we've got 6 child safety laws. They just need 1 vote. We can't get those 6.
How many times has this happened? What?
Well, I'm starting next week. I'm going back to Washington. I decided I don't care. It's time for the Warriors to be back and get in those faces. This deep fake thing, I'm skipping right over. This has to be dealt with. And not just this cheap talk out of both sides. Something has to be done. And Chuck Schumer has got to put these on the schedule to go to votes. Okay, we cannot allow our children. Why is it that why is this allowed? I'm just not understanding why this is all allowed with our children. So I'm going back next week. I'm going to start fighting harder and harder and getting faces, and that's what I'm going to do.
How about New York one day being the sex traffic, the sex?
Well, it's happening already.
What is it called? Not the sex
tourism capital of the United States. Now they're talking also about perhaps Eric Adams will, I don't know, not be mayor for. I guess the next term he definitely.
He's through.
Will. He's through. But the ones they're talking about for potential candidates are all in with my body, my choice. Children should be one with adults. And this is the most frightening thing. So when I say at a very local level, council members, DAs, that is where it's at. And I am disappointed in this city of New York that this was the turnout. They are learning nothing, and I'm very disappointed.
Ramon is back. She says, if some parents did what Lionel is proposing, kids would talk and the message would spread that there should be consequences. Oh, absolutely.
But schools, now we know, don't digress everybody with the schools, what's happening. You have to be involved with your child's school. That's just the way it is these days. You got to know what's going on, curriculums, know who the teachers are, know what the assignments, the books are. That's part of school today. If you're going to public schools, and I recommend also private schools as well, because they're also teaching a lot of agendas you would be shocked at. But parents have to come together. We have to have discussions like we did with the Warriors, just education, raising awareness, letting people know this is going on, giving them some easy tips so they can deal with this. But they have to deal with their child, and people have to come together in numbers. It can't be one or two parents. It has to be everybody. Nobody's for this. I don't mean anybody who's for any of this. So we cannot sweep it under that carpet. We've got to come out and talk about all this, and it is unacceptable.
If we had kids today, they wouldn't be in school. They'd be homeschooled. I swear to God.
I've revised, and I've said this a lot. I believe children need, a couple of hours a day of different instruction, but not these 5, 6, 7 hours in this institutional kind of, and then they need to explore music and arts and museums and just different cultural things, because we do have a lot of studies that show how that adds to being, smarter with mathematics or English and all. So I have a whole new thinking about education. That should be it. A couple of hours. I don't know about you, but I was doing hours of homework a night when I was in high school. Hours, 7th, 8th grade high school. That's ridiculous. A little review. Everybody should read an actual book, not online, not a phone. A child should hold a book and turn a page. That could be, maybe you have 30 minutes a day.
And learn how to track.
That. And that would be the assignment. Just the book. This is what I teach people. Turning the page, and then a little follow-up. The parent should also read the book, or the caregiver, so you can have a discussion then about the book, over breakfast, in the car, whatever it is. These are the things we have to get back to. Not this 5 hours of homework, or kids are on the computer all day. It's got to end.
How many of those kids never showed up after the remote education during COVID mania?
I mean,
some never showed up again.
I don't know it. And of course, there was no talk. There was no research. You call anybody, they hang up on you. At one time it was, 40% just never came back. Then I heard one time it was 22%. This is fast forward. We don't really have the numbers. We don't really know. Kids just disappeared, just didn't come back to school.
Do you think those kids, we have some friends who are in public school, New York public school. Do you think these kids are actually even benefiting at all from any of this stuff? Seriously, is there any?
You mean their education in the public school?
Yeah.
Well, I personally don't think so, because I know what the curriculums are for New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. And when I look at K through 12 and see, now I think if you have a motivated student, a self-starter, they're always going to, in their own way, succeed or be curious or want to read. But for the most part, let's admit what it is. A lot of people use it as a babysitting tool. Mm-hmm. When I question, like, what's the curriculum, or what books, what's little Sammy reading, or they don't know. I don't know. Not only
that, if you, because we have a lot of schools in our neighborhood, and they have just such great names like New York School for Environmental, New York Schools for Dry Cleaning, they have Performing Arts and whatever. And all you have to do is just listen to them, and just listen to them walk by, and you realize these are mutants. I don't know who these people are. I don't know where they're from.
You mean the students?
The students. Or
I would say that's you're talking about the middle and high school kids screaming and yelling and running rampant.
Mutants. Listen, we have to understand something here. Not everybody should be mandated to go to school. Just like people shouldn't be mandated to go on a sports team. In fact, you have to, if you want to go on the team, you have to try out for the team. Nobody's forced to play football. Nobody's forced. That's the whole idea. In sports, it's competitive. The idea of forcing somebody and say, you're going to be here. We should make an immediate, at some particular point, a determination. You're going in one direction. You're going into trade. We'll teach you things like reading. That's important. How to read instructions, how to maybe balance, I would say balance a checkbook, or the
You're
concept
dating
of that.
yourself, but
Yeah, but
about money skills, and things like that.
and that's it. But you're going to go
right.
out. You're going to go because you are not going to go to college. You are not going to go. You're barely going to make it in high school, and nobody in your family has. And we're not going to waste our time because you see that kid over there. That kid over there really wants to learn. And that kid's smart. And if they're all Asian, so what? If they're all black or white or gay or fit, I don't care. We have to cultivate the best students possible, and we have to treat them just like we do athletes. We have to treat them like they're special, and we have to make sure that they're always segregated away from these stupid,
well, that's just it,
inbreds, and let them prosper, because we're not going to do well against Asia, Europe, if we don't have STEM programs. I like STEAM. It's true. I mean, we are
arts.
We are doomed.
But we also have to take those children. We cannot turn our backs on them. Those that are not equipped. We don't know their home environment, right? A lot of teachers report to us. Okay, I'll just use one example I know about. I won't name even where it is. It's like 1 in 5 students are believed to be living out of their cars with their family, right? Or couch surfing. We have to take all that. How can a child go to school hungry, living in that kind of environment? We have to be able, all these monies being spent in these foreign countries, these other countries, how to cultivate those students and help those students. I feel very bad about kids that have to live out of a car, or couch surfing, or a single mom who's got 3 jobs, who leaves the older child to take care of the siblings. We have to take care of those kids.
Remember when de Blasio, that moron, who, by the way, is so much better than this jadrul we have now, but when de Blasio didn't like the fact that so many of these honor students were Asian. So what? Great. They're Asian. Terrific. What do I care? It's performance.
Well, it's not equity, honey.
Yeah, but see, that's another thing too. This is, we are, we are doomed. But here's the best part. And nobody ever even wants to get new to this or get through this. I am telling you right now that the biggest, and you touched upon it on first, and how many times have I said this? The biggest, the worst, the most existential threat to humankind and humanity is AI, but also AGI. And despite what Ben Kurzweil and these other folks think, and they have absolutely. What if right now, all of a sudden, with Israel and Gaza being what it is, all of a sudden, some artificial intelligence, some AGI, non-aligned, mischievous unit decides to break into, through brute force, break into the firing system of rockets in a Gaza, let's say, battery, and send these into Tel Aviv or wherever it is. And Hamas never did this. And Hamas, it was this mischievous Eddie Haskell version of this. That's what artificial intelligence can do. It breaks away. Remember, it writes its own code, recursive self-improvement. It writes its own code, and it breaks away from any kind of control. And it can shut things down, slow things up. It can shut down the internet. It can hurt people. And nobody's even talking about that because nobody can even understand it. And that's something that it's already too late.
It's too late because we're talking about it, but they're talking about it, for instance, in Washington. I'll use that as an example. Well, we have to have some guardrails. It is too late. Yes. Right? It's been 5 years happening already. We just don't know about. And frankly, I'm surprised more things with all of that AGI, AI haven't been infiltrating and creating more chaos. I guess they're holding back for some reason. But
imagine all of a sudden the lights go out, okay? And you call up Con Ed or Pacific Gas and Electric, wherever it is, and they say, we have no idea what this is. Something shut this down. Is it malware? I don't know. Artificial intelligence or artificial general, when it is mischievous, it doesn't leave a mark. What if they picked up the phone and actually recruited people to be hitmen because they could mask a voice? They could tell somebody, we will have money deposited in your account. This is all whatever a human can do, it can do times 1,000. The sky's the limit in terms of the imagination. and we don't have this. Stop by for 1 second. Stand by for 1 second, my friends. Remember, please, we ask you, as always, for the love of God, please, we beg you, I ask you, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And by the way, are we a My Pillow household or what?
We certainly are. We have been for a long time.
So. And you know why? Let this explain. Let me tell you about my great friends at mypillow.com. Mypillow.com. And by the way, use promo code Lionel. Use promo code Lionel and receive a free gift. No purchase necessary. And yes, I realize that gifts are free. It's a tautology. Get over it. Sue me. So what are we talking about? How about Giza Dream bed sheets, My Pillow 2.0, sheets, slippers, percales, towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, name it. Items to luxuriate and relax. And don't forget, Christmas is just around the corner. And yes, it makes a great stocking stuffer, and it's fine for dad or grad. Made by the greatest company from the greatest people in the greatest country. Or call 800-645-4965 if you're OG, and see how quickly Mike Lindell answers the phone. 800-645-4965. But don't forget, only use promo code Lionel. That's mypillow.com. Promo code Lionel. Mypillow.com. Promo code Lionel. Do you remember Ron Popeil?
Of course I do. But I feel good. I feel like I have my Mike Lindell slippers, Giza sheets. I've got my emergency food and some gold. I think I'm all set.
We are
face 2024.
We are ready to go. But remember years ago, we're just I'm a little older than you, but we're approximately
barely. We're the same age.
Well, but we're from the same. But still, though, I'm 3. I got 3 years on.
3 years you have on me.
But still, remember when we would watch Popeil's Pocket Fisherman, Rhinestone and Stud Setter. That thing where you would make glasses out of bottles. You would cut this thing and then sand them down and go, look at this. You can make a nice tumbler out of it. And I would watch the As Seen on TV. Mm. We don't have any good ads. Dump Cake was always a big fan. Where were the great ads that we see what are the great theme songs?
Those days are over. That's all over.
What are the great theme songs? What are the great we watched last night, or attempted to watch? Which is actually very good. Morning show on Apple TV. And is that a theme song? It seems like it's mechanized. It's
we don't have theme songs anymore. That's done. That's over.
I loved theme sons.
That's done.
I love that we remember this at the time. The afternoon movie.
Mm.
Remember when did they stop doing comics? Remember that? When they did on Sundays. Cartoons.
Well, they should go back to
the funny papers.
Listen, instead of those late night shows that I don't know why they're still on, because no matter what they tell you, they're not money makers.
Mm-hmm.
They should replace that. 11:30. They should put those movies back on.
Oh, those things are so done. Corden.
Yeah, but it's just like they just keep them on. Well, he's gone. They have some woman comic taking over.
Nobody's ever heard of her.
Well, that's the point. I think I guess she costs no money and they stick her in there, but they're wasting. They would do better, I bet, if they just put a movie in those slots, like the old 4:30 movie. Just put movies in there. So,
There are people, you're going to start seeing things shut down, and you're going to see people all of a sudden say, "Well, I'm stepping down. I'm going to be going. I'm making a new change in my life." No, you're being fired, or you're not.
That's been happening.
Yes, or you're not. You've been offered some ridiculous salary for it. Those days are over. Do you know that Matthew Perry and everybody, you brought this up, they make $20 million a year in residuals.
But they were also very smart. They were the first team. All of them stuck together. Like what went for one went for all. So they got all of their management together. So they would all get equal
$20 million.
But they don't have there are no salaries like that or residuals anymore. It doesn't work like that.
Barry Taylor says, I'm curious, as an attorney, is turnaround fair play? It seems the golden rule is always forgotten by the criminal mentality. Well, the golden rule, do unto others, I think is, of course it is. But, and thank you, Barry, for the criminal mentality, the criminal look. Most crimes are not victim oriented. Most crimes are technical things. Selling drugs, that used to be against the law. You know, robbery, personal stuff, yeah, that's it. But most criminals don't. Dealing in stolen property, burglary, that's violent. Most thankfully they're not murderers. They're just kind of, they're raised this way. um I am becoming a fascist. I am becoming somebody who wants to see the most draconian punishments being handed down to scare the living bejesus out of people. That's what we need.
I don't know if people get scared anymore.
I think they will. We have ways of doing that. There are ways.
I don't.
There are ways of doing this. I
mean, people are scared in China. I mean,
I was just going to say that.
Maybe that is, they know something we don't. I'm just saying.
Does anybody here care what the penalty for murder is? I don't. Why? Because I'm not murdering anybody. I don't care what it is. Why do we care what the penalty for murder is? You're not supposed to commit murder. Why would anybody say, "Hey, that's too strong"?
Mm-hmm.
Why? It's murder. Yeah, but no. You're not supposed to commit murder. And the best way to make that particular punishment extinct is not commit murder. And what I think we need to do regarding anybody who hurts children involves something so draconian, so awful, so horrific, it can't even be described in public.
We got to talk about that a little bit, because this normalization of all of this sexualization of children and all of this, it's just exploding. And the public is just becoming accustomed to this.
Habituating. Yep.
They think it's okay. And we do have to have, people are hiding behind the computer screens and doing all of these things to children. We have to get a handle somehow on all of this. And it's being a lot of talk, a lot of chat. Let's break it down. Nothing's being happened. So therefore, they go on and on and on. That is why I constantly preach about in the home, you must take control.
Yep.
You must know what's going on. You have a duty. If you hand one of these devices, I don't care, with things I have seen, things I have heard, people I work with, victims, survivors, you have to put guardrails yourself. You have to educate yourself. You have to talk about it. You have to do it, because it is this AI and AGI. We should have penalties, hardcore penalties.
Yes.
For having a problem about that this is allowed to be going on, and that a school district will just say, it's okay. Snapchat, the images disappear. How stupid, how ridiculous, how uneducated. We should have mass lessons in every school.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I'm going to fight for it in 2024. I mean, I'm starting next week.
Well, no. I want to thank Barry Taylor and Ramona Heath and Edie Crowley. Edie Crowley, one more time. Edie, thank you for this beautiful, beautiful artwork, which I like it this way, by the way. I hope you don't mind. Barry, of course, I thank as well. And who else is here? Ramona. Laurie Partridge, who, by the way, likes Russian plane crash videos. Hey, that's a fun time. Imagine that. Tinder likes and dislikes. I like Russian dash cam photos. Okay, well, hey, to each his own. Whatever melts your butter. What are you going to do? Public wood chipping. Like the scene from Fargo. Oh, don't get, little sister don't miss when she aims her gun. All right, my friends. Also, by the way, you're going to love this. Watch this. For banners, we have to remind you we also want to thank you, first of all, for subscribing. Don't forget, also on February the 3rd, I'm going to be at the Cutting Room, and you will be there as well. Doors open at 6, 7 p.m. curtain. This is February the 3rd. Operators are standing by. Se habla español. Plenty of free parking.
We've got to get ready for election 2024. We got to go hard.
And follow Lynn's Warriors on X or Twitter. We call it Twitter still, at Lynn's_Warriors.
Thank
and
you
YouTube. Yes, that. And also, of course, hit the notifications and a like and subscribe. And we thank you. And let me see, that's about it. So That
Well,
went
thank
well.
you for having me tonight.
Aw.
It flew
Isn't she great?
by. You
How about a
have
big hand for Mrs.
you
L?
have
Isn't she great?
wonderful people here. We appreciate
They're great.
everybody.
They're demented. They're out of their
And
minds, but they're loyal and they're terrific, and we love
it's
them.
all about the loyalty.
Absolutely.
I'm all about loyalty.
We'll see you tomorrow, my friends. Same bad time, same bad channel, 8 a.m. Thanks for being with us. And don't forget these final words, this valedictory, this sayonara, this adios. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.